Hello, this is Victor from RestoreYourMercedes.com, and this video is for Paulo in Brazil. Paulo, just want to show you where I am right now with these units. Today I finally got to work on them. So first things first, they've been cleaned with the media blaster. As you can see, they're nice and shiny now. So I used baking soda, so it's not really abrasive, so I do not scratch any surfaces, but they turned out to be beautiful, nice and clean finish. This is etched into your aluminum, so that I'm not gonna touch because I don't want to use harsh abrasive. The surface right now is nice and smooth, so I'll leave it like that. Alright, so now cleaned up the old loom. Here's your old loom right here. So these are the wires and everything like that, so I'm gonna replace that, of course. And soldering they did previous, whoever worked on this unit, not really great. I mean, I cleaned it up already, but something happened here with the clutch coil terminal here, so I'm gonna have to solder it directly, most likely, just to prevent any problems in the future. I have to redo all these wires because they tried to solder them behind underneath. Not great, so I'm gonna have to redo that as well. Other than that, it spins nice and free, and the potentiometer seems to be okay. That's good news. Now the bad news, not really bad news, but sort of a roadblock that I'm facing. I'll show you in a second. Okay, now this is the problematic motor in the driver's side unit. Okay, so it sits inside. Here's the gear right there. The gear sits here, and it basically, the motor just spins it. Okay, now what we have here is the motor. I opened it up. Somebody already opened it, so they didn't really do a good job, actually, pretty bad. The rear case, I do not really touch the rear case because it's nice and original. They actually opened the rear as well. I guess they had problems aligning the bearing. There is a way to do it without breaking the rear case rivets, the crimps rather. So I'm gonna just have to redo that. They welded it, but the weld in itself did not really stick well. I mean, I can see there's cracks in it and whatnot, so I'll have to redo that. So that's that. The good part about this is that the motor itself, as you can see, these pieces right here, this is where brushes sit in there. This is sort of like a kind of plastic ceramic, like hard ABS plastic material, carbon kind of material. Like, I don't know, it's just weird. It's not really plastic, it's not really rubber, it's not really ceramic, it's something in between. It's a composition. So very high temperature, maybe Teflon at some point, some mix of Teflon. So good news is that they did not break brush the holders for brushes, okay, but they did put different brushes, not original to the car. What I do is when they get stuck in there, okay, then in really severe cases, I'll show you one severe case. This is another motor from 600. This is the severe case. This is bad. You see how the brush is melted, like the holder is basically melted altogether. This is really bad. The motor got all black and, you know, no good. So this is the bad one, so I just have it here. In your case it's nice, so the motor is salvageable, it's doable, I can fix that. The problem is that the brushes, when I work on these motors, I take out the brush and I resurface it and kind of reshape it and put it back, because distances and everything is really close and the brush does not move around too much. Now what these guys did, whoever worked on it, they put some other brushes in it. Now as you can see, you see the shiny part of it, this is where the brush touched the armature. So as you can see, it touches very little. That's not full contact, so there's lots of sparks. So in the brush itself, it was shaped kind of the best way they could, but not really perfect. I'm gonna compare this to the original one in a minute. So see, this is the shiny part where it would touch. Very small area. This is one brush that I took out from your motor. This is the second brush I took out from your motor. They actually made the indentation, which is the correct way. But this one right here touches a little more. As you can see, the shiny part. See that? That's the shiny part. So we'll compare the two now. One and the second one. See, this is the first brush. On top is the better brush. On the bottom is the worst one. See, this is just a little bit of the surface touching the armature. Second one touches more. Okay, that's the second one. And I'm gonna show you the original one. It's not a good brush, but at least you can compare. This is the original brush from a 12-cylinder motor. Now this is how it touches. As you can see, first of all, it's round and full, pretty much surface contact. See, that's the part that touches. You see how it's grooved in. This is how much it's supposed to touch. So if you compare original brush and let's say the worst brush, it's a good one actually. The difference is apparent. This is how low this one touches compared to the original. You can see that. So, and it's not really shaped. So I have kind of a situation in my hand where I have to find a brush that will actually work, and I will have to reshape it so it will fit. See, this brush is original, it still has markings on it inside the graphite, but I cannot use this. I mean I can, but I don't want to. In reality, as you can see, there is no wire to it. So the wire is here. I have the wire. This is my pile in here somewhere. There's the wire. So in theory, here's the touching point right here. As you can see, this is where wire goes in there, and it's glued in there. I do have a special glue that is conductive. It has silver inside. It's conductive epoxy, but I still do not trust that kind of situation. So I'm going to need to find new brushes that will fit this motor, because there are no replacement motors. There's just, you know, it's just not there. There's no motors available for this one. Nobody makes them anymore, so we have to deal with what we have. So this is how it's supposed to be. So I want to get the brush that's going to be that's going to have the wire inside it, but so I can reshape it like these guys did, but they did kind of poor job. As you can see, it's not straight, it's all like wobbly, it's weird shape. So what happens is, let's see the motor, right? So we have the motor. We'll take this brush, we put it inside, and it's basically like wobbles around. As you can see, it's like I push it in, it just moves a lot. It should not really move. See, that's just too much movement. If you put the original one, just the right size, it's basically nice and snug in there. But again, I'm gonna have to find one for you. I mean, I'll find them, no big deal, but I usually just work with, see, this one I cannot even push in, it's just tight because the plastic actually deformed a little bit with heat. But you can see, even the way it is, it's already kind of snug. Okay, so that's the issue here. I'm gonna fix it, but it's just gonna take me a little longer because I do need to find brushes. On top of that, the retainer spring was bent a little bit out of shape. This is the original untouched one. As you can see, this one is nice and straight. Okay, now this one they had to bend. It's not the end of the world, but it's like all bent up. I can rebend it. I can make it back to original, but it's not straight anymore, so not good. So what I work with is this is the normal spring, and this is the bad one. Well, I'm sure I have one somewhere, or I can just basically bend this one back to compare the two. Actually, this would be a good idea, so you can see that. I mean, these are all little things, but you know, once you start putting all these kind of modified parts and messed up parts in there, and then you just you know, not gonna last long. So therefore I want to do as good as I can here, so it will actually last. Therefore I need to find brushes that will fit, and I'm gonna reshape them to be as close to original as possible. So that's in terms of this. The passenger side. Okay, it's a passenger side. This is just, you know, it's a passenger side unit. Passenger side unit, the motor was not touched, so I'm gonna open it up and I'm going to reshape original brushes, put it back in, so it will be original. Okay, so this one is not modified, which is really good. And today my plan is, my agenda for today is to make new harnesses, because they also removed the grommet. So there's supposed to be a grommet over here, original grommet, with a piece of you know, with the original wiring loom that comes out, similar to what you find there. I really love to reuse a part of the original loom, because I can keep the seal nice and tight, and I put my loom in there from the seal. It's like this much is of an original. I put the wrap over it, so I retain the original seal. But you know, in this case, I don't know about this part. I mean, I didn't open the passenger side yet. I want to do the worst one, so it's missing. So I'm gonna have to do silicone on this one, which is not preferred way of doing things, but no choice here. It will work, but you just cannot pull on the wire too much. Okay, so this is where I stand, and I obviously have to clean inside, because you can see there's dirt in there, and that's never been cleaned up when they took the motor out and sprayed this unit to clean up all the residue from the media blasting. But that's the oh yeah, and I didn't realize when I put it in my media blaster that you still had gasket on it, so I'm gonna clean this all up. This is old silicone, so I'll clean that off. The gasket that you had there, I still have it if you want it. It seems like somebody kind of adapted the gasket. This does not seem to be original Mercedes gasket. It costs like about $3 a piece, so I strongly recommend you just buying 2 gaskets for your throttles, because this thing is like, I don't know, it's just weird. I think it's paper. Mercedes one is sort of rubberized a little bit. It's paper, it's like treated. So this one is like plain paper, and I mean, it works, but I'm kind of a guy who likes to keep things original. Well, as close as I can get to original. So I wouldn't put this back. I mean, yeah, it fits, you know, like, yeah, it works, but I would get original Mercedes gaskets. They're like few dollars. It's much better to do. Alright, well, this is the quick update for you, and just figure I'll just make a video rather than send you a long email, so you can see what's going on. And once I have my hands on these brushes, I'll let you know right away, so I can put the motor back together. The motor also, they welded it in a couple of spots, 1, 2, 3. 2 welds were broken already when I got there. One was holding on a little bit. I don't weld things, even though I have a welder, like right there. I have a welder. That's the welder right there. But I still do not weld motors. I actually reuse original clamping points and just bang them in, so it holds motor nice. Much better than welding, especially spots. I mean, I use the original areas to keep it together, so to me that sounds much better way of fixing this. Okay, so at least we know that the motor itself, all the windings are good, the magnet's good, and it's not jammed all the way because it was spinning in previous video. I showed you how it was spinning. It just did not spin right. It was very tight. So in this case, I had to go in there. So I'll do both, and I'm sure it'll be much nicer and it'll last you a long time. Alright, just wanted to give you a quick update, and you know, feel free to email me or call me if you would like to, and I'll try to get these things done as soon as I can, because I have other ones coming in. So hopefully in a few days I'll get these situated and repaired and make you a final video of the test for both units being connected to my V12. Alright, Paulo, I'll talk to you soon. Victor at RestoreMercedes.com. Thanks for watching.